This may sound crazy, but Kevin Durant could be going back to Golden State, and both Draymond and Klay Thompson could be kicked out the door. Here's why and how. Okay, so as we know, the Warriors missed the playoffs after losing a play-in elimination game versus the Sacramento Kings. This surely angered not only Warriors fans, but also Steph Curry and other important members of the organization. From the whole Draymond Green incidents, the Brandon and Klay bench to starter swaps, Jonathan Kuminga and Steve Kerr's relationship being questioned, and of course, Andrew Wiggins' on and off the court issues. It was clear from the beginning that this team wouldn't even sniff an NBA championship. And if we're being honest, then there's just no way in hell the Warriors start the 2025 season off with the same roster. First, let's talk about the team's struggles as a whole so you can get a better understanding of why they weren't very good. And the funny thing is, actually, statistically, they were one of the best teams in the NBA all around. They were number 1 in rebounds, 7th in three-point percentage, 8th in points scored per game, and 13th in field goal percentage. And defensively, they weren't terrible either, being ranked in the middle of the pack at 15th. So what was the problem then? Well, the answer to that has to be coaching. Both from a logical and factual standpoint, Steve Kerr's rotations, in-game tactical tactics, and questionable lineups made it damn near impossible for them to pull out tough wins versus really good teams. For a very long time, there's been this notion that as long as you have great players, you don't need a great coach, which is totally not true. At the head of every championship contender stands a visionary tactician, a coach who possesses a keen understanding of the game's intricacies and a strategic mind capable of outmaneuvering the competition. From crafting game plans and scouting reports to making crucial in-game adjustments, NBA coaches serve as the architects of success, shaping their team's identity and instilling a winning culture that breeds excellence. In the heated battle that is playoff basketball, where every possession matters and margins for error are razor thin, the importance of strategic brilliance cannot be overstated. NBA coaches must possess a deep understanding of their team's strengths and weaknesses, as well as those of their opponents, in order to devise effective game plans and exploit favorable matchups. One of the attributes of a great NBA coach is the ability to make timely and astute adjustments in the heat of battle. Whether it's shifting defensive schemes, tinkering with lineup combinations, or calling strategic timeouts, coaches must be adept at adapting to changing circumstances and seizing momentum when it matters the most. Beyond X's and O's, NBA coaches play a pivotal role in the development and motivation of their players. From refining individual skills and maximizing potential to fostering camaraderie and instilling a winning mindset, coaches are tasked with cultivating a culture of continuous improvement and championship aspirations within their team. Where the stakes are highest and the pressure is most intense, NBA coaches are called upon to lead with poise, confidence, and composure. Whether it's navigating tense late-game situations, managing egos and personalities, or rallying their team in the face of adversity, coaches must exemplify leadership under pressure to guide their team to victory. And doing all of that is not easy. But let's not forget that Steve Kerr was once making it look easy. Before and after KD joined the Warriors, it was clear that Steve Kerr was a genius. From the outside looking in, it appeared that Steph was the only mastermind behind getting open with his crazy stamina. But it was Coach Kerr's masterfully placed screens and difficult to navigate through offensive actions that had teams most confused. A complicated offensive playbook ran by great players is a recipe for championships. For all of my basketball geeks out there, if you paid attention to UConn, the NCAA national champions, you will see that they easily had one of the most beautifully ran plays in college basketball history. They could run 4 or 5 plays in seconds, flipping through counter to counter like it was nothing. Then it helped that 3 of those starters will likely be drafted in the first round in this year's draft. So it's a two-way street. You have to have great players and a great coach to win championships. Take a look at the Denver Nuggets in 2023. We know they have players, but their coach, Mike Malone, along with the entire Nuggets coaching staff, was all on the same page. And from watching their documentary on YouTube, you can literally feel the positive and friendly energy through the screen. It doesn't matter how good your players are, if the coach and organization aren't well kept, you won't maximize your success. Why do you think KD's failed super teams keep failing. Alright, I didn't mean to hit KD with a stray, but let's get back on track. I just said that winning a ring is a two-way street. You have to have a great coach and great players. So where does that leave the Warriors? Well, it's a little bit of both, as this year, Steve Kerr was not a great coach, and the Warriors didn't have multiple players playing at a great level, only Steph. Literally, that was it. So, in result, they missed the playoffs. In order to change that outcome, changes definitely need to be made. The Warriors aren't a young, spry team like the Thunder, Grizzlies, or Magic where you could just say, oh, well, we lost and that's fine, but let's run it back. You can't do that with the Warriors. The Warriors are aging, and every season is its own challenge. They aren't a dynasty anymore. They're just a team trying to construct the best roster possible year by year to give Steph the best chance to win as he gets out of his prime. With that being said, we know what has to be done. The organization has to be shook, starting with the players. Steph needs stars. Having Andrew Wiggins, Draymond, and Klay as your primary supporting cast isn't going to get it done anymore, for many different reasons. According to The Athletic, the Warriors' lead decision makers in the front office believe Curry has at least 2 more seasons playing at this high of a level. So if there's a way they can grab someone like Giannis, Paul George, or reunite with Kevin Durant, they will absolutely explore it. The only problem is they don't have the best draft capital or player assets. Klay and Andrew Wiggins' attractiveness on the market has likely dropped off significantly after this season. The Warriors would need to cook up something intriguing enough for a team like the Suns to want in order to give them Kevin Durant. And since KD and the Suns just got swept by the Wolves, there really isn't any reason for KD to want to stay. The trio of himself, Booker, and Beal doesn't scare anyone. I know this is very controversial, but I think it would be good for the NBA if they were to team up again. This time under different circumstances. It isn't like KD is joining a stacked 73-9 team. He would be coming in to save a franchise that is falling downhill after missing the playoffs. If he was somehow able to get into a Warriors uniform and bring them back to the top, I think that would help his legacy a lot. But like I said, the only problem with that is how much would the Warriors have to give up to get KD? One trade that could work is the Warriors sending Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Podziemski, and Gary Payton II for Kevin Durant. I know, this seems like a lot, and it is. But this may be the only chance the Warriors have to become NBA champions once again. A starting lineup of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and Kevin Looney may not sound as good as it would have in 2017, but if they were able to somehow grab a legit high-level center, I think it could work. It still doesn't sound as good as the Nuggets are or any other of the top teams. As crazy as it sounds, you may have to move Draymond and Klay Thompson for more complementary pieces. They could try and mimic the Nuggets roster and go with 2 stars and fill the rest of the team with talented two-way players. While Draymond still is one of the best defenders in basketball, he simply is becoming more harmful to his team than good, both on and off the court with all of the suspensions. Surrounding KD and Steph with players like Alex Caruso, Trey Murphy, and even a Dylan Brooks could be a breath of fresh air, something that they all need desperately again. I know all of this sounds crazy, but it is what's needed to turn things around and increase Steph's chance of getting his 5th ring. Running it back with Klay, Draymond, and Looney just won't work. It just won't. Or let's say that the Suns don't want to trade KD, nor does KD want to be traded. Well, there's still some good free agents like Nick Claxton and Jonas Valanciunas who could fix their big man problem on both ends of the floor. Just imagine a roster of this: Steph Curry, Trey Murphy, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, and Nick Claxton. A roster like this isn't filled with star talent, but both Trey Murphy of the Pelicans and Nick Claxton of the Nets play their role better than like 95% of the NBA. They are elite, high-level role players. The only problem would obviously be scoring. Steph needs someone else who can carry the scoring load some nights. I would really look at players like Lauri Markkanen, Jimmy Butler, or even a Brandon Ingram. And like I said, I'm not saying this is exactly what they should do, but I'm giving you all just an idea on how exactly they should construct their roster. The Nuggets have the blueprint. 2 stars who can carry the offensive load, and the rest of the roster is filled with two-way players who can shoot like KCP or get buckets down low effectively like Aaron Gordon. This is the strategy the Warriors should go with. But in order to make that happen, they have to move some players they may not want to move. However, if they want to win championships, then this is what they must look into. I know this is a wild video with tons of theories and hypotheticals thrown around, but now I want to hear yours. What crazy but somewhat realistic idea do you have that could save the Warriors? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.